What's up guys? We're back again with the best deck in Clash Royale after the update. Phoenix and Monk are the best cards in the game right now, so you have to use them and be prepared to beat them. This graveyard deck completely counters Phoenix and Monk spam, while your own Phoenix and Monk live the dream and reign supreme. Going in for graveyards with the 1 elixir Monk ability can soak up so much damage. It's like Giant Graveyard, but this time your opponent can't kill the Giant. And if they try to mess with the Monk with any ranged unit, that's a giant mistake. He reflects back all the damage, eviscerating Archer Queens, Cannons, Musketeers, Dark Goblins. Every single one of those cards gets destroyed. Meanwhile, your opponent will be spamming their Phoenixes and Monks into your Tombstone, Zappies, and Skeletons. Your opponent's Monks will get 0 reflection value on your defense. And Phoenixes will get stunned by Zappies and distracted by Skeletons, making no progress towards your tower. Let's go jump straight to some ranked games and assert dominance. Thanks to everyone that's supporting the channel with creator code SirTag. Alright, so we got a game against Mr. Max. We'll see what this guy's up to. We're just going to go in for a Monk in the back because you can't go wrong with the card. Oh, he's going to drop that off to the side. I'd love to reflect his Goblin Barrel in this match. If I can predict his Goblin Barrel and drop my Monk in the exact spot that he's dropping the Goblin Barrel, we can reflect it right back at him. Typically, if you play against Logbait and you're running a graveyard deck, you can't go in for graveyards until double elixir. But since we have Monk, I feel very comfortable doing this because it's going to kill the Dark Goblin. It's going to reflect the tower damage back at our opponent. And it's even going to kill the cannon. Guys, the best part about the Monk is how long it stays alive with the graveyard. So even if it's not giving you value and your opponent goes in for a P.E.K.K.A directly on top of your Monk, you can go in for the Monk ability, make it meditate and stay alive, and then the tower's just going to waste so many extra shots on top of the Monk instead of hitting the graveyard, so you're going to probably get a much better interaction than you would otherwise. We're going to go in for Zappies here just out of I don't know, being scared of our opponent potentially going in for a spell and killing our Phoenix. He just left the game. Max literally left the game after he lost his first tower. He saw that level 13 Phoenix and he's like, nah, not playing this one. And honestly, I don't blame him. It's absolutely hilarious that we made the dude rage quit in single elixir before double elixir even hit. That's where graveyard gets really strong in the late game, where you can rattle off the Monk and then just spam graveyards. Because the graveyard gets directly on the tower in double and triple elixir, your opponent's win condition is going to have to struggle through your Zappies, your Tombstones, your Monks, and never really get damage, while you can pile up the direct damage and it won't feel fair. That guy rage quit before he even saw how strong our deck actually gets. Alright, so this guy is simply not going to cycle anything at the start, and then he goes in for the Bandit like he heard me. He was just listening to me whisper in his ear, cycle something. And he gave us a nice elixir trade because the Monk is going to give us counter push. Even if he goes in for an Electro Wizard, I think it's worth it for us to click the Monk ability because we're going to keep the Monk alive a little bit longer and give our opponent a lot more grief. Oh wait, the Monk actually reflected back the log that he was using to counter the graveyard. That's incredibly troll and so fun to do. One thing that people don't know is if you drop a Tombstone here, it will fully counter the Hog Rider if they don't have an Electro Wizard or anything else with it. So it's unfortunate it got 2 hits, but it is what it is. Still a pretty good trade for me overall. Also, one other thing that I want to do is I think he's going to have graveyard counters with like Mother Witch. Typically when you see Bandit in a bridge spam deck, they'll have Mother Witch. Just straight up poison on it every single time, or click the Monk ability on the Mother Witch, and then the Mother Witch finishes itself off, and that's always fun to do. I'm going to go for another graveyard because I don't think he's going to have Mother Witch if he didn't drop it earlier, or maybe he just added the wrong card cycle. Oh, wait. He's dropping log after the Monk ends up getting finished off. We could activate King Tower with that Firecracker. I think that's totally worth it. So, actually, yeah, I'm going to go for Phoenix here. And then I think we can go for Skeletons afterward and then go for Barbarian Barrel. I don't know if that activates King Tower. Please, Phoenix. Oh, Phoenix, why? You don't even want to die, Phoenix. You want to die on our opponent's side of the map, so then I can't control if you get the respawn or not. It's going to die and the Bandit's going to kill it. If it died on my side, I would have been able to protect the egg and definitely keep it alive. Wait, looking at this game, I'm kind of losing right now. This is a little bit sketchy. I'm not liking losing this one right now, guys. I'm not a huge fan of losing games, surprisingly, right? I'm going to click the Monk ability. He can't log again because obviously he would go right into the Monk ability, so he has to drop the log a little bit lower. So he purposely made sure that he wasn't able to have that happen. Oh, I was so scared that the Skeleton was going to activate the King Tower there. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it was looking like the Skeleton was going to kill the Firecracker and activate King Tower, and I totally could not afford to let that happen. I'm going to go for Phoenix now to finally activate King Tower, but does that matter? Because the Electro Wizard is basically going to kill me anyway. Wait, is the Phoenix going to be able to finish that off, or is that going to splash out of my tower? It splashed on my tower. That's not good. I got to go for a Monk and then go for a Graveyard. Is my deck overpowered enough to give me a game that I totally don't deserve to win? I guess we'll find out. I'm going to go for the Monk ability, maybe even knock back the log, knock back the Firecracker shot. We're going to go for a Poison. Do I take the tower? I don't deserve that at all. That is like the most undeserved tower of my life. I zeroed that thing, and he wasn't able to do anything about it. Wait, if I go for Phoenix, he has to go for a log because the Hog Rider isn't going to do enough Oh, wait, it got a hit. Okay, all right, or maybe he just logged. I'm not sure. I have no idea. But I can go in for a graveyard, and then I can use monk in the middle. Monk him in the middle. All right, so we're going to go in for the monk here. After the Phoenix dies, we can go and click the monk ability, and then everything's going to target that, and then we're not going to take any damage. Even though he P.E.K.Ka'd, it still can't kill the monk. Are you kidding me right now? Look at how much damage I'm getting with the graveyard, and we're even pushing back the P.E.K.K.A. It's just a walking log. That's all I can say, guys. A walking log of value. I'm going to go in for a Phoenix because his P.E.K.K.A can't kill that. The Hog Rider isn't going to be able to do more than like 2 hits on our tower max. He doesn't even get the second shot. I can maybe go in for another monk in the middle. Every time that I do this, I feel like it's the new evolved strategy where you would go like Archer Queen and go invisible. This is just way better because it gives you damage for sure on the tower because the tower targets it and it reflects. And then it stays alive a lot longer too. Dude, he's literally in the depths of despair at 1,300 health points in a game that he deserved to win. And our tower is sitting pretty at 3,000. I'm going to go in for skeletons here so that the bandit doesn't get the dash on us. I just didn't want to drop it directly down the middle. Need to drop it closer here instead of directly in the middle between the Hog Rider and our tower. I'm going to go for another monk here, and I think that both towers target that, and maybe even the firecracker starts to shoot the monk too. I don't know. I'm just hoping that the firecracker joins the party. Yo, let's go. I can go in for a poison. Does he lose the bandit? No way. He got deleted. The bandit just got yeeted from this game. That's hilarious. How does that even work? Genuinely, the Phoenix and the monk put out damage that should never be possible in Clash Royale. I'm going to go in for one more graveyard. Wait, no. I can just do this instead. Why would I go in for a graveyard instead of showing you guys how broken the monk is? I'm going to click one elixir. There's nothing that he can do to stop that, and then I poison. You don't even need to go in for a graveyard as a win condition. You can use monk and poison and go for the monk in the middle when a tower is down and guarantee around 200 damage every time for just one elixir. It's taking spell cycling to a whole different level of toxic. Monk reflection damage is best damage. Jumping into the game against NKL, he is already dropping a Sparky in the back. I wish I could go for a monk in a graveyard, but I didn't have the right card cycle. I'd have to go for a graveyard first. So I'm going to defend the Sparky by just using a Phoenix and skeletons and zappies. And maybe I'll have to drop my skeletons here depending on what this guy decides to do. Wait, this is going to be hilarious because I can click the monk ability and have it reflect and hit the... Oh, are you serious? The Phoenix killed the Sparky so fast that I wasn't even able to use the monk to reflect back the Sparky shots. That's how overpowered the card is. Like... You look at it just once, and it performs magic tricks that it's not supposed to do. The Phoenix is like, you know what? Call me the magic archer because I'm performing a vanishing act on that Sparky. And you get literally no value with your other cards because the Phoenix hogs all the value. I'm going to go in for a tombstone here, and this guy's going to go for Mini P.E.K.K.A and Dark Prince, which isn't that scary because we know that the Mini P.E.K.K.A is going to be held up on skeletons, and then if he continues to spam enemy, we can just go for more skeletons. The endless amount of distractions that this deck offers is insane. This guy went in for a Phoenix, and he went in for a Rage. So he effectively... Oh, wait, he just dropped his entire elixir bank. You know what the best part is? We can let the Phoenix die to our tower because it's really close to the tower. If it's further away, we can't do that. I think he's going to go for a Sparky in the back, so I'm going to go for my Phoenix here, and I'm waiting for him to go for the Sparky. I'm going to monk on the same side, and then I'm going to graveyard, use the monk reflection, and make him super annoyed with us. So I'm expecting him to go in for the Sparky in the right-hand side probably because that's where we're cycling all of our zappies. So he would assume that he's able to outrange it probably, right? So I'm going to go for Barbarian Barrel on top of the Electro Wizard, and that should be able to snipe it pretty nicely. Wow, the fact that we're able to kill that with just a poison is pretty funny as well. Where's your Sparky, dude? I just want to see you cycle that in the back, and then you're going to be traumatized by the fact that Monk is absolutely out of this world with the bounce back ability. So he's eventually going to cycle the Sparky in the back, and that's what we wanted to see. We were here for this. This is the moment you have all been waiting for. The Monk reflection damage. So to be real with you, the Monk reflection damage does not do as much as it usually does to the tower with the Sparky shot. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but the Sparky shooting the tower would typically do way more damage than the 200 it did there. But, you know, I mean, that's still a lot of damage. And it looks like the Phoenix is going to give us death damage, being able to kill the rest of his Phoenix and his Electro Wizard, making his Phoenix pop on his side. So he's just going to continue to spam me whichever way he wants to, but I mean, it's not going to matter. We have the best deck in Clash Royale. You are not breaking through my defenses. Even if you get a Phoenix through, it's going to die because we have zappies to finish off the egg. And then we can go for the Monk. We can go in for a graveyard and click the Monk ability, so then it has a permanent tank. You're not even able to kite the Monk to the other side because the Monk's just going to sit there meditating in the right-hand lane. He tried to go in for the Goblin Giant to kite it, and he just ended up in a severe amount of pain. GG, well played, and peace out. It was a pleasure taking all of your crowns. And after winning that one, now we've cruised all the way to champion. I can't wait to keep pushing up. Not cycling anything at the start. Same old, same old. People are actually meditating with their monk, embracing the card cycle, and just seeing what they can do. Obviously, people don't want to like make misplays when they're in a ranked game mode, but I gotta be honest, if you're raging my side of the map, it feels like a waste. What if I bridge spammed in the right-hand side? Wouldn't you want to rage up your tower? So him cycling the rage there is maybe just a blatant assertion of dominance, saying that he doesn't need it, but it could have been better for him if he had used it on his side. So I'm gonna go in for a graveyard here, and him pulling the monk into the tower is very interesting because we know that we're gonna be able to soak up more Phoenix shots using the monk ability. And look at the graveyard just surrounding the tower. We know that this guy is running Elixir Golem though. That's one thing that I'm not a fan of. Elixir Golem decks can be scary if you don't have the right card cycle. So what you want to do is you want to go for a Tombstone to pull the Elixir Golem as far as possible, and then go for your zappies off to the side so they can't fireball on the Tombstone and also hit the zappies at the same time. It's better not to split up your zappies, just make sure that they have to fireball them. Sometimes they'll have like arrows and zap, and if they go arrows and zap, that just costs 5 elixir, and the zappies give you permanent value then. I might have just left the game or given up now because he's down so much elixir. Can we 3-crown an Elixir Golem player? Always satisfying to do. I wonder if we can make it happen. Unfortunately, the Electro Dragon is going to give him a lot of value, but I think I'm just going to go for a graveyard here when I can. Yeah, I'm going to click the monk ability so we can tank a little bit longer. He does fireball. If only I clicked the monk ability before he fireballed, I would have won the game. But maybe the zappies can kill the Electro Dragon anyway. We've got the graveyard skeleton stockpiling on the tower. The monk just refused to die. Dude, I think I'm going to 3-crown this guy. Oh, man. I think he's going to go for one more gold Elixir Golem push. So if I defend this, I can 3-crown him. I'm going to go for Tombstone as far as possible so we can pull that as much as we can. And I'm going to go in for Zappy so we can finish off the Electro Dragon. Notice how I isolated the Electro Dragon away so the Zappies are able to immediately target onto that. Oh, wait. This game is so sketch. This is not looking good for us. Oh, never mind. We're good. We can go for Skeletons and kill the Elixir Golem blobs and then Barbarian Barrel afterward and clean up the rest of the Elixir Golem. You know what? I'm still going to 3-crown him. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and go in for the graveyard here and then Meditative Monk in the middle. And I'm pretty confident there's no way he can stop this. We want to go in for the graveyard first and then Monk so we don't waste any time with the tanking. And then when he goes in for Elite Barbarians, we can just straight up poison that. And then watch as the Monk gives us a lot of reflection damage on the tower. And the graveyard skeletons just completely surround him. This is ridiculous. Even though the game felt a little bit closer and he took a tower, when we went for the graveyard in the middle with the monk, there's nothing that he could do to stop it. I'm telling you right now, monk graveyard is 10 times more toxic than giant graveyard could even hope to be. Hey, we're playing against Face Control. This is actually one of the best log bait players in the world. So I have to focus up and play my best if I have any shot of beating him. We're gonna give him a good luck and see what's happening. I want to go for Phoenix in the back because I always get value from it, especially against bait players. Typically, if they rocket it, I mean, I still get the Phoenix surviving on my side of the map. So, I mean, they typically wouldn't do that. I'm going to go for Skeletons here because I think the bats are going to die, and I don't want to give them too much value with the bats locking onto our tower. We know that the Phoenix is also going to be able to kill the Musketeer, I think. Oh, no, pushed it out of the... It literally pushed it out of the poison. I hope it dies. Okay, thank goodness. I was like, if my Phoenix, for the first time in its life, doesn't give me value, I will be utterly disappointed. I would be the first person in Clash Royale to pioneer a way of not getting value with the Phoenix, and that'd be some serious accomplishment. All right, so I can go for the Monk in the right-hand side and maybe apply some aggression with the Phoenix because it's going to be hard for him to kill this now. Because even if he goes in for like the Mega Knight, we're able to make sure that the Phoenix is going to be able to just have a lot of time to kill the rest of his Mega Knight. Also, does he lose the Mega Knight completely? And then when he kills the Phoenix with the bats die, so then he has to drop more elixir to go and counter the Phoenix. Because the Phoenix is alive, I can go for a graveyard because he doesn't have bats. So if he doesn't have another cheap distraction to clean up the graveyard without going in for like a snowball or something, we might just take the entire tower. He went in for arrows, and that just, you know, sits on his side of the map and does absolutely nothing. I'm in such a good spot because I can completely counter the Musketeer with Skeletons, or I can save my Skeletons for the wall breakers that will likely come down on the other side. Yeah, so I'm going to go for Skeletons on the Musketeer. We'll see what else he wants to do. Shouldn't get a hit on my tower. I can even go for Zappies on both sides at the exact same time, and I'm focusing up really hard because I've played against this guy at top ladder, and he has always beaten me. It doesn't feel good, so it feels good to maybe win this one. I'm going to try to go for Monk in the back, and this guy probably has the Mega Knight on top of the 2 Zappies on the right-hand side. I'm going to go in for a Tombstone here, make the prediction on that, make sure that the Mega Knight jumps towards that instead of locking onto our stuff that is important. I'm going to click the Monk ability, and I'm going to go for Skeletons on the wall breaker so he can't get too much damage. The fact that the Monk doesn't reflect anything, yet it's still giving us awesome value for 1 elixir, just makes me feel like Clash Royale did not really think about how broken these cards are right now. As you guys saw, the arrows were able to completely clean up the rest of my Phoenix egg on my side of the map, and that's why people run arrows in a lot of their decks right now. It's one of the best cards to counter Phoenix, and I mean, countering Phoenix doesn't even work. Like, it counters it, but you're spending 3 elixir just to kill the egg. And, you know, I'm probably going to get more than 1 elixir of value with the initial shot that we go in with the Phoenix. So I'm going to go for Monk. I'm going to go for Skeletons here. He's probably going to have to go and drop a lot of elixir. Oh, wait, what? That wasn't supposed to happen. So the Mega Knight jumped. Oh my gosh, we reflected some of the arrows back on the tower with the Monk. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that put him deeper into spell cycle range. I can go in for a tombstone, and I need to be able to stop the Prince from connecting from... Yeah, so the Prince didn't connect. If the Prince connected, we could have maybe lost the game. But now with the Phoenix going over to the other side, all I need to do is go in for a poison and walk away the win. I was really scared for a second, because if the Prince locked onto the tombstone, then the wall breakers had a chance going directly towards my tower. But yeah, it didn't matter. We just beat one of the best players in the world, and he's giving us the Burning Goblin emote. In case you guys don't know who Face Control is, just taking a look at his profile, he's finished top 600 in the world, and he is really good at the game. Got a game against Jesus from the Shooting Star. Well, I'm ready to shoot a lot of stuff at your towers, and hopefully all your projectiles. So I want to go for the Monk in the back, because it rarely ever gives me a negative elixir trade, and this guy is immediately going to go for a Giant in the back. So he's going to have one of two things, Giant Graveyard or Giant Sparky. Typically Giant Graveyard, I would have to guess. And especially after we see the Witch, our suspicions are confirmed. So typically what I want to do is I want to defend without poisoning if I can, but I don't think I'm going to have that luxury. I'm going to click the Monk ability just to get some reflection damage here. I'm going to have to poison on the Witch, so then we can clean everything up with the Barbarian Barrel, and then maybe go in for Skeletons if we absolutely need to. But the main priority for me was to make sure that the Witch wasn't going to target on top of the Skeletons, so then if it killed the Skeletons, the mini pack would have been able to lock onto our tower. Really important stuff to make sure the Witch was targeting the wrong thing. Also, I said we instead of me. I was like feeling like I was Mario or something. I don't know. We can go in for a Graveyard with the Phoenix, because we're in a pretty good spot. If our opponent decides to go in for bats on top of my Phoenix, what I can do is I can have the Phoenix Death Bomb kill the bats. He can't really Skeleton Army right now. If he goes in for a Witch, then his push is utterly dissected. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, the Witch is not going in the side where you want to go in, man. We're going to be eating her alive like a sandwich. We get another Phoenix spawn. Are you kidding me right now? This is so stupid. The fact that Phoenix always gives me value for 4 elixir, it shouldn't be doing that. Even for 6 elixir, I think it would be broken. Which is a bold assertion, but that's how I feel. I'm going to go in for Skeletons here. I'm going to let the Witch do her thing. I just want to make sure that the Monk is able to destroy the Giant. And yeah, you know what? I think we won the game, because with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining, all I have to do is go for poisons on the Graveyard. And because he's got Giant Graveyard, he's not going to be able to break through with the Giant, because he's going to get distracted by the Tombstone, the Monk, the Zappies. And the poison will fully shut down the Graveyard with like 1 or 2 skeleton hits. This one is definitely a dub. Monk just makes life so much easier. It makes sense that he's always meditating in a state of zen, because, you know, he can. He doesn't have any worries in life. Every matchup for him is just way too easy. Like, subscribe for more daily videos, and have an amazing rest for your day.